Hello everyone, and welcome to this Dreamcast VGA showcase, which is basically a montage of the Dreamcast games in my collection, all through VGA, and they look absolutely stunning. This is pretty much a video to show you why, if you have a Sega Dreamcast, you should probably get a VGA box, because even though you have the usual cables, which are the yellow, red and white, which is basically composite and all that, it looks good on a CRT, but when you put it on a HD TV and things, it looks not so great. I mean, if you're fine with it, then that's fine. We all have opinions and things. If you're not bothered by quality, then that's fine, but why are you watching this video? But I'm here to basically show you how it all looks through VGA, and as you can see, it looks so freaking clear. And this is on a system, from 1998/1999, pretty much. This is the quality that they could make back then, and it's unbelievable and things. Not to mention that also this video is in 60 frames per second, so if you're watching this, then click on the little quality button and put it up to 720p 60, because it will make it running at 60 frames per second, then it will look even clearer, and I gush over it a lot. Plus also, when you have like a Dreamcast VGA box and things, it also outputs PC audio as well, so in ways, I don't know if I can see the difference myself, but the sound is probably a lot clearer than what it usually is, through Composite and things, since it's through a PC cable instead. So you might find that the sound is also a bit clearer and things. Also, when I've recorded this, it was actually in a 1280 by 720 resolution and things, but I've cropped it down to, the resolution that it's supposed to be, like on the Dreamcast and things. But this is all literally raw footage. Like, I haven't done anything, with like, I haven't added any filters or so to make it look nice or anything. This is all directly from an original Sega Dreamcast. I was going to say Mega Drive then, but then I got confused. So yeah, this is all recorded from a Sega Dreamcast, and it just looks great. What can I say? And that was Soul Calibur, and there are a whole bunch more.
Soul Calibur.
See, the guy just told you. Because right now what we have next is Jet Set Radio and things, and this actually shows off VGA pretty well, I find, given the fact that Jet Set Radio is pretty much, it's a cell shaded game, but with a lot of bright colors and things, and that's pretty much what VGA does. It grabs that signal and not only makes it clear, but it also makes it colorful and produces it at the sort of right colors and stuff like that. And I just find that it looks good. Plus, also, I love Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio is probably like one of my favorite Dreamcast games, but honestly, I can't really say that for sure. Because I recently, I got the Dreamcast this year, pretty much around March and things. And I haven't really played an awful lot of Dreamcast games. Like, my collection is actually pretty small, to be honest. This whole video is my collection, pretty much. And now we move on to Sonic Adventure, where, as you can see, even this, it still looks clear and things like that. But the next video after that is really where it gets impressive. Because at the moment, we're watching all these videos, on a 4:3 aspect ratio, where it's all cropped down and things. But the one after that will be in 16:9. Since, some Dreamcast games actually support that resolution, surprisingly. I'm quite surprised about that one myself and things, but still. But yeah, it's Sonic Adventure and it's clear, but now, this is where it's at. This right here is Rayman 2: The Great Escape, on the Sega Dreamcast at 480p in 16:9, because if you go into like the options menu and stuff, you can switch the game to 16:9, so that when I put this on full screen, it looks absolutely freaking incredible. This is one reason why I find that Rayman 2 is probably the best version of Rayman 2 that you can find. Like, I honestly find that this beats the PC version, given the fact that this has a widescreen support and it runs in 60 frames per second, and it's just the best. What can I say in things? And honestly, that's all there is to talk about it, really, and things. But I'm just gonna be showing you a bit of the gameplay and stuff like that, just to show you how clear and stuff this looks. Plus, at the end, I'll do a composite versus VGA, just so you can really see the difference. Like, if I look around, you can see, like, all the textures on the water and things, not to mention when I move the camera around, it runs really smooth. If you're watching this in 60 frames per second anyway. And it looks nice. What can I say? In case you can't tell, I'm a big fan of the VGA output of the Sega Dreamcast. I think it works wonders and it looks great. And also we come across Space Channel 5, probably one of the strangest games I've ever played, and I absolutely love it and things. I'll probably go on more about it when I do like a one-off Let's Play of the game or so, because I mean it seems that type of game if you ask me. But even with Space Channel 5 and things, it still looks pretty clear and stuff like that, you know? Like the white balance in the places is like pretty good and things, and you know, it just looks clear basically. I'm starting to run out of things to say really, because I mean, surely you get the idea of this, you know, you can't deny that this looks really clear for a system made in the 90s, you know. But that's the thing, even though this was made in the 90s, this was actually a next-gen system, pretty much. Because, I mean, you know, this was pretty much the console that was next to the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Like, this wasn't for the N64 or PlayStation or anything like that, you know. This was a next-gen system, which is why it looked really clear when it came out in the 90s and things. It's a real bummer that I didn't play this when I was a kid. I would have loved this system. My gosh. But at least I had PlayStation. PlayStation was good. Oh yeah, now we go on to Sega Rally 2 and things. I honestly find that this one also looks pretty good, but I find that the menu looks a lot better. But honestly, I'm pretty sure that with it being called Sega Rally, you would want to see footage of racing instead, you know? So I just thought I'd show some racing and stuff like that instead, except one thing that I find weird, although this pretty much is the same for most Dreamcast games anyway, is like this runs in 30 frames per second at the minute, but at times and stuff it will run in 60 if there's not as much going on. Which is really strange, considering I thought Rayman 2 had an awful lot more going on, stuff like that. And now we come across Shenmue 2. I don't actually have Shenmue the first one, and only the second one, unfortunately, but even still, I thought I'd show off how Shenmue looks on the Dreamcast, given the fact that this is one of the best looking Dreamcast games, and for good reason, especially through VGA, as this looks incredible. I suppose this is pretty much, you know, this video in a word. Incredible, pretty much. Just all these positive words, and that's showing off how good VGA really is and stuff like that, especially when you crop it down and things, because I find that with it stretched to, you know, the HD 1280 by 720 resolution and stuff, they look a bit stretched. Rayman 2 doesn't, because it's in 16 by 9, whereas all the other games I'm showing off are in 4 by 3, hence that's why they're cropped down, you know. I always have that sort of thing. Like, if it's in 4 by 3, I want to play it in a 4 by 3 aspect ratio, you know? Not in 16 by 9, otherwise it's going to look stretched and things. Anyway, what's after this one? We've got, oh yes, Chuchu Rocket, a game that also runs in 60 frames per second, and this footage right here is actually my first time playing the game. Like, I got this a while back and things, and the first time I played it was actually through multiplayer with a couple of my friends and things, and it was complete mayhem. I absolutely loved it. And this is pretty much just footage of me playing through the game the first time, so that's why I'm sort of a bit confused of where to put these things and stuff like that. It's a very unique game though, what can I say? And it looks pretty nice through VGA as well. Because, I mean, you can see it with, like, the text and things, can't you? Nothing really looks pixelated or anything, or jagged by the edges. It all looks smooth. Not to mention, you know, it runs smooth in 6 frames per second and stuff like that. And, I like it. What can I say and things like that. I also like some of these puzzles as well, the way they're laid out and stuff like that. And, yeah. I forgot though what comes after this one. I think it's I forgot what other game do I have in my collection again? To be honest, I can't actually remember, but you'll see in a bit or so. Oh yeah, this happens if you play a game that doesn't support VGA. You get this message and you have to find another one and things like that. But now what we're gonna see is this. So at the moment, what you're seeing here is Sonic Adventure, pretty much the first cutscene, but this is through Composite. This is how it looks through Composite and things, not to mention that this is also interlaced, given the fact that that's what it's like raw. When you record your Dreamcast, you know, through Composite, it's going to record it in an interlaced format, hence that's why it looks all a bit... When the camera moves about, you can see some sort of ghosting effect going on, because I like to record this in the raw format, just to show you what it looks like and things. Also because of that really cool voice acting right there. Everybody loves that line, come on. That's about as infamous as it gets.
This could be fun.
So that was Composite right there, and in a minute or so we are going to switch to VGA and see how it is completely superior to Composite. So here it is right now, VGA. As you can see, the colours look a lot more brighter. You can see so much more textures and things. There is absolutely no blur or interlacing going on, and it just looks smooth as heck. What can I say? Because, I mean, you know, it's upgraded it. Composite was pretty much a, what was it, a 480i signal. And then Dreamcast is a 480p signal, so it basically stops the interlace happening, and then it makes it all progressive, and it looks a lot smoother, and the colours are just right. You can even see the liquid simulation on, you know, chaos and things, and it just looks really nice, and stuff like that. But either way, that's pretty much the end of the video and things, and this is why you should pick up a Dreamcast VGA box, because this is the sort of quality that you get. And like I said, this is not edited or anything, this is raw. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and pick one of these up. They will work wonders. But before we end there, I just want some feedback from you guys on something and things like that. So, while I have recorded, you know, the Dreamcast through VGA and things, it's actually been a pretty hectic setup and things like that, you know. Because, I mean, I've got an awful lot of stuff going on. In fact, it looks a bit like this or so. So, you know, there's an awful lot going on and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, that's cool, I can just get a Dreamcast VGA box and record it like that. No, there's actually a lot going on and things. And I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below if you want me to run through how all this setup works. Like, you've seen how it looks. But how do you make that? You know, how do you put all this together so it comes out like that, in that quality, and what equipment do I need and stuff like that? And just let me know in the comments below if you want me to do that, because if you do, I will. So, yeah. That's it, really. See ya.